Welcome to the power of podcasting, voices that shape Black America in the world. In this report, we are highlighting and celebrating International Podcast Day, a yearly global occasion that shines a spotlight on the revolutionary power of podcasting. With so many people around the world tuning in on a daily basis, podcasts have become a powerful tool for influencing and shaping narratives, especially for Black Americans. In addition, we are focusing on how podcasts are changing the way we think about politics within the African American community and beyond. And let's not forget the fact that we'll be looking at one podcast that has been quietly making waves on YouTube and social media, which is Accidentally Informed with Claudia Jordan and Erica Cobb. This unique podcast features a wide range of critical, honest discussions surrounding race, identity, and politics. Lastly, as we prepare to mark International Podcast Day, we'll be talking to some New York residents who will each give a detailed insight about the importance of podcasts and why it's being relevant around the world. But first, let's talk about International Podcast Day. This yearly occasion often serves as a key reminder of the growing impact of podcasts, especially among many Black communities across America. According to a 2021 survey from Edison Research, nearly 40% of African American adults are listening to podcasts on a regular basis. For many people, podcasts provide a safe space for true representation and an effective way for aspiring Black talent to discuss a wide range of taboo topics that mainstream media usually tend not to cover it on a regular basis.
What do you think about that?
One, who doesn't understand that child? Nancy Mace is in South Carolina. You've never heard child in South Carolina?
And on top of that, she had no problem calling two Black men on CNN boy.
In today's polarizing political climate, the power of podcasts do allow anyone to dig deeper into issues that impact the African American community, whether it's about racism, LGBT plus rights, colorism, gossip, and political activism. Podcasts do allow more in-depth conversations that are often ignored from mainstream media.
I haven't heard anyone talk about this, but as people who have been in media for a very long period of time, you and I have been in media for a long period of time, you become a student of some of these stories that you reported on. I have no doubt that Britney's conservatorship, that other people who have fallen victim to situations like this absolutely play a role in how Wendy is responding to this right now.
Podcasts like Accidentally Informed often tap into these dynamic conversations, offering a safe space for Black people to share their views and opinions in a highly respectful manner, encouraging them to fully engage with the word in a more informed way. I recently had the opportunity to speak to Erica Cobb, one of the podcast's two co-hosts alongside the beautiful Claudia Jordan, a couple of days ago, and she gave a full insight about how she decided to enter the podcasting world despite facing some challenges. Here's what she had to say.
I think, having the privilege of understanding both sides of this, being a part of mainstream media and understanding that, for one, I had a lot of leeway. I was in a very fortunate position that we were, Daily Blast Live was the first 360 format television show to be live on television, meaning that we were not only on broadcast, but we were live streaming during the show and in between the show to connect with the audience. So the idea that I was able to really speak to some of the most transitional, pivotal moments of our lifetime in terms of, COVID and lockdown, in terms of social justice, in terms of Me Too. All of those things I was able to hit on and resonate with my community. Now, from there, I really took the flexibility of having my own podcast platform from the beginning in order to amplify a lot of the messaging that we were receiving.
How have your long established careers in media journalism truly influenced the way you approach podcasting, especially as women of color?
So I've had the insane privilege of really having a diverse media background in some amazing capacities. You know, I started my morning radio career in Chicago, which of course is a huge market, and it was the number one radio station. So at that time, radio was so big. We had, I think, 1.8 million listeners a week. And that was, you know, that was a big deal. Then to have go from radio to starting to implement more live events, like for instance, I was the in arena host for the Denver Nuggets for 4 seasons. So just that idea of being live in front of people really prepared me for my career in television, because I'll tell you this, there's nothing like, I've been on television, I've been on radio, I've done all the things, but there's nothing quite like having 18,000 people have a 360 view of you every night.
That's
With
insane.
yes, with the lights and the cameras, and it's just kind of you know, you're leading the ship.
Although Erica managed to successfully overcome all the obstacles when venturing into podcasts, it's important to understand that the process of doing podcasts can be quite challenging, as it usually involves audience representation. According to Nielsen, 41% of monthly podcast listeners age 18 and older are non-white, surpassing the proportion of non-white individuals in the general US population. This includes 19% Hispanic and 13% Black listeners, reflecting a significant shift towards more inclusive media representation. But get this, the number of Hispanic podcast listeners has increased sixfold since 2010, reaching around 6.8 million people, while Black and Asian audiences have grown fivefold during the same time period. These trends definitely highlight the growing importance of podcasts as a valuable medium that amplifies voices from a diverse range of communities. However, many people remain unaware that International Podcast Day is being celebrated annually on September 30th. This occasion is more than just a typical date on the calendar. It truly represents a global recognition of podcasting as an effective platform for original storytelling, education, and empowerment. It should serve as a powerful opportunity for Black content creators to showcase their talent and to build meaningful, respectful dialogues. I recently spoke to a few people in the New York area a couple days ago, and they shared some valuable opinions about the growing state of podcasts and its strong importance to democracy. Here's what they have to say.
I think it allows people to have like a platform to share things and express things with other people. You know, a lot of times Black people, our voices are not heard, so having our own podcasts allow us to discuss our topics or any topics in general that we see fit. That's really it.
That's Brittany, a food pantry volunteer sharing about her take on podcasts. Although she's not the only one agreeing on it, Tania Goodwin, a Buchanan college student, gave an interesting take on why podcasts are engaging to listen. Let's hear what she's saying.
I think podcasts can help people of color be able to express what they've experienced throughout decades. I think it can go back to times in the 1950s. I think a lot of people are still alive today that can tell the stories of people who lived in the Civil War and later on from that. So I think that having podcasts dedicated to people of color would allow for more people to understand how life was back then and how it's kind of being seen again now through the state of the political society we're in right now.
Well, although Tennille gave a reasonable explanation on the use of podcasts, Aisha Williams, a longtime Brooklyn resident, gave one of the most intelligent and honest opinions regarding the ever-growing popularity of podcasts. Take a listen.
I think it's a great way to start conversation. In mainstream news, we don't really see too many of, conversations being spoke about what's going on in the African American community or a lot of the problems that we may have that's not so mainstream. So I think it's great to have a space where we can have those conversations and relate to each other and bring some things to the forefront that we wouldn't catch on mainstream.
Despite the fact that everyone have their own opinions about podcasts, there's only one thing they all agree on. Podcast is truly a place to learn, a place to understand, and more importantly, a place to speak your mind. And on International Podcast Day, it's important for everyone to know that podcasting isn't just your regular type of medium, it's a movement. For many Black Americans, podcasts have become an effective tool to reclaim clear narratives and to help build political consciousness in a world that often tries to suppress our voices and our minds. In this moment of cultural and political reckoning, the power of podcasting often lies in our ability to connect, engage, inform, and seek real change. This is more than just conversation. It's a way of helping to make the world a better place. Thank you for listening to the Power of Podcasting, voices that shape Black America and the world. This report has been written, prepared, and executive produced by yours truly, Anthony Buchanan. Special thanks to everyone who take part in making this report possible, including Erica Cobb and Aisha Williams. Portions of this report include material courtesy of the Accidentally Informed podcast with Claudia Jordan and Erica Cobb, a production of Compact TV Presents. Much love and respect to their incredible work and the authentic conversations they continue to lead on a regular basis. To all our listeners across America and around the world, I want to say thank you for letting your hearts, your ears, and your minds. Just a friendly reminder to keep tuning in and support your favorite podcast, because at the end of the day, it truly makes a strong difference.